Neama, why wouldn't the prosecutor just say, yeah, it's a good idea. Maybe we don't make the address public, and let's just, he wouldn't agree to that before the hearing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the prosecutor made a mistake here, right? Because ultimately they didn't even get the address, which is unprecedented and unheard of. But really, and I'm no fan of this judge, and Vinny, you know I'm not a fan of Kyle Rittenhouse, but I think the judge actually made the right decision here. Bail is based on risk of flight and danger to the community. Now, we know this kid is dangerous, but really, I mean, he walked up to law enforcement immediately after the shootings, right? Then he turned himself in the next day. And he showed up at every court appearance, so he's not a risk of flight. I know why the prosecutors want to remand him to custody, because that gives them a lot more leverage. But if you're really just kind of applying the law here, there's no basis to increase bail, despite how inappropriate and disgusting his conduct has been while he's out on bond.
All right, now I want to get to another issue. In this one, this is a very emotional case. And Anthony Huber's father, you can hear it in his voice, see it in his eyes. He's broken. His son has been shot and killed, and he's been a part of all these bail hearings. But I want to play again part of him. And I don't know if you noticed it because we had to blur it out. But as the judge is giving the decision and it's going for the prosecutor, you see the little blurring down. That's because he's flipping the bird in the middle of a hearing, then holding up a sign saying this is out of control. I know these Zoom hearings are new for us, but it kind of replaces the courtroom. And my concern is that I don't want to see Mr. Huber dragged into court. I don't want any of that to happen. But Neama, if you're in a hearing and you're flipping the bird as the judge is giving his decision, that could be a problem.
Oh, yeah, it's a big problem, and it starts from the judge being insensitive. I mean, the defense here is self-defense. People were shot. There's no dispute as to whether Rittenhouse shot these two people. So for the judge to say that they're not victims, that's completely both illogical and insensitive. So, but again, Huber, he's lost his son, not making excuses. You can't act like that in a courtroom, whether it's virtual or in person. So the victim advocate at the DA's office has to have a serious talk with him to make sure something like this doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and I understand what he's going through. It's tough. I just don't want it to result in him having to deal with something as well. But the bottom line with the victim, the judge said this is just his rule. It's always his rule that word does not come into play in his courtroom. So fascinating to see the way that's all going to play out.